What should I Google if I have committed a crime or if I've been arrested for a crime? This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. Well, when I work with storytelling with lawyers, this kind of stuff can be really rich territory for a good story. So can you think of something maybe you wouldn't want to Google if you've just committed a crime?
Right. I mean, definitely Google the best criminal defense attorney in my area. That's one that I would Google first. But don't necessarily Google how long can you have a dead body in your presence before it starts to smell bad.
That'll make you look pretty bad and pretty guilty, right? So, I mean, there's all kinds of things that you shouldn't Google, but I mean, it seems to me like if you have committed a crime, you would have questions, right? And so you're going to go to Google and you're going to want to answer these questions. But then if you get arrested, what have you opened yourself up to now with that, having done that?
Right. I mean, it would be so tempting if you feel like, oh man, I don't know if what I did, I should have necessarily just, maybe that was a bad idea. Now what should I do about it? I mean, every person in the world today is probably going to Google, what should I do? Now, can that be used against you? And the answer is yes. And the list is long as far as whether it's, a crime that involves violence or if it's a crime that involves dishonesty. People are always looking to Google or to AI to help them solve their problems. But in this sort of circumstance, if you're charged with a serious crime, law enforcement may very well be able to find that Google search and use it against you.
Okay, so yeah, if that's out there, how are they going to find that you searched, for something?
Well, they are going to rely on their ability to get a search warrant. Now, a lot of times, law enforcement will ask for a search warrant, and they will then, as part of the search warrant, they want to search your phone, for instance. So they will confiscate or seize your phone and then do what's called a phone dump, where they extract all of the data that's on your phone. But this is where you need to beware and where you need to make sure you have a good attorney.
Okay, so they need a search warrant for this. Now, I'm sure that the defense attorney does not want them sort of searching everything in that phone, neither does the person who committed the crime. So what does this search warrant look like?
Sure, the search warrant has affidavit, that is a sworn statement by law enforcement telling the judge that they're asking for the warrant, what they're relying on in order to, essentially seize your protected information. And so that sworn statement should have reliable information, it should be specific, and it should be narrowly tailored to go after just what they have probable cause or enough information on regarding a certain crime that you're accused of. And if it goes beyond the scope of that narrowly tailored information that they give to the judge, and they extract your phone and find basically damning evidence against you that's outside of what they were allowed to search for, then that's a problem for them.
Okay, so how does this actual search happen? I mean, do they just take your phone and, like you say, dump it and look at it? Or is the defense attorney there too?
No, the defense attorney is not there. And, a lot of times we'll get these phone extractions, and what we need to do is compare what the judge said they could look at with what they gave us and make sure that it's just that amount of information. Now, if they do go outside the bounds, so to speak, they go outside of what they were allowed to do, and they try to use that evidence against the accused, well, then that's where your defense attorney can file a motion, going before the judge and saying, hey, this search warrant, number one, was too broad, or number two, it was specific, but they went outside the bounds of the search warrant, and complain about how the evidence was obtained against their client. And if they're successful, get that evidence suppressed or taken away from the prosecution.
Wow. I mean, that seems like a very, very important step that you'd really have to be knowledgeable to do, because if they get in there and see things that are incriminating, they're going to want to use that against you. But you're saying, there's a way to stop them from doing that.
Exactly, and that's by filing a motion. We had a particular case where we had a client who was accused of possessing a large amount of drugs with the intent to distribute or sell those drugs, and the extraction that occurred, part of the information that they wanted to use against my client was outside the scope. That is, they weren't asking for messenger messages from Facebook. And so, part of what could have potentially been pretty damning for my client was contained in these messages. Now, we didn't know if the prosecution had actually went through that with a fine-tooth comb or realized what they had in their possession, but we knew what the search warrant allowed, and we knew what evidence should come in. And so, as part of our strategy, we filed a motion in limine requiring the prosecution to stay within the bounds of the search warrant. And in fact, when they started to go out of bounds in trial, we objected, and we were able to keep that evidence out. And so that was a particular case where we knew what the rules were, we knew what the parameters were, and we knew where the prosecutor might want to go. But with our experience, we were able to keep some of that out.
Well, once again, it's a great example of why someone needs a defense attorney. So how do they get in touch with you?
Sure, we'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.